What's up guys, my name is Reason, and today I'm going to show you some Winston gameplay with ML7 and our very own Twist joining me. And if you want to watch hundreds of other detailed guides from professionals and top 500 players, visit GameLeap.com by clicking the link below. Now, let's get started. So Winston is a main tank, he's a dive tank, so just like every other main tank, his main job is to create space for his teammates and to soak up all the damage and cooldowns that would otherwise be used on their squishies. So ML7 is starting this off by saying that he's going to throw a nade straight up at a slight arc, so it's going to land directly on top of the gas station. So on his count, we're going to dive on top there and follow up with his anti-nade, which should nade the entire enemy team. So he's counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I jump in. So this dive is pretty scary. They're responding to it really well, but notice that I didn't dive too far into the back line because I don't want to get killed. So I'm trying to find this balance between diving too far or not far enough, trying to get as much work as done as possible without dying. So I messed up my jump a little bit here, but my DPS are able to mess with their backline, and we're pushing the payload the whole time here, right? So none of us are dying, and we're pushing the payload the entire time. So that's a victory for us already. I'm cleaving the diva here, and again, I'm jumping straight up, and then I'm sort of like planning on going to land at the top of my arc. I didn't see any great opportunities there, so I back out, and as soon as that Reaper gets close to me, I'm jumping away from him immediately, because Reaper can kill Winston really, really quickly in close range. So just 180 shift. So again there with the 180 shift, when Orisa pulls you, you wait till the pull actually affects you, and as soon as it activates, then you jump away, otherwise your jump will get cancelled and you get stuck there. So you have to block bombs like this as main tank. That's like one of your main jobs. So if you do not have the cooldown up, you have to say to your team, I cannot block it. It's that simple, you just say that, and that actually helps them so much because they'll know, okay, I have to escape. So I'm asking my teammates, do they know where the Ana is? Because I can't see her. ML7 says top of gas station, I think. I jump on top of gas station, we get the kill. So Reaper's a counter to Winston, but if he's that low and I'm in my primal, of course I can kill him, I go after him. You want to try to time it so that you land as you can left click melee. And if you land close to him, it does more damage than if you land further away from him. So that's called primal juggling. And now they've made a switch to Pharah. So every fight, in between fights, rather, you want to be pressing tab to see what switches have been made, what the ult charge is, what else you're going to use this fight. Because you don't want to use too many ults. You want to use the right amount of ultimates so that way you keep your ult economy up. And their Pharah is a bit away from their team, so I harass for a little bit, being careful not to get hooked. That's my main job as a dive tank, is basically to harass, which forces them to redirect their attention to me away from my teammates. So as soon as my teammate blades in, I jump in too, because he has a lot higher chance of succeeding if there's a 500 HP with armor Winston in the middle of their team. So unfortunately the whole hog actually takes him out. Whole hog is a really good counter to blade, so if you play Roadhog, whole hog when their blade comes out, that'll push him away from your teammates. It's the same effectiveness of like Lucio Boop, which will mess up his dash resets. It's actually more effective than that too. So again, with Winston, you can actually really mess with Pharahs, but yeah, we lost this fight, so we're backing out a little bit. So now I'm looking to dive their Ana again. The Reaper unfortunately spots me, the Roadhog's looking for hooks, and I'm thinking, okay, we gotta either have to dive here or have to back off. And I decided to go for it. I was expecting my team to go in at the same time, but I went a little bit early actually, so that's my bad. But my team is still able to pop off here. You know, in part because even though I died, they're off looking at me, using cooldowns on me, attacking me, and my DPS are not getting hit by that stuff. Like Roadhog is not hooking my teammates, they're hooking me, right? I'm not the person that's going to be killing people anyway, right? Like McCree getting headshots is going to be killing people. Not my Tesla cannon. So much better that I get taken out than them. So we've got Nanoblade coming up next fight. We're staying in comms. Even though I'm not Genji or Ana, I can still stay in comms, so that way we're all on the same page, that we all have the same plan in mind. Nanoblade next fight. And when we Nanoblade, I have Primal to create space for it. So I'm looking to jump in. I jump a little bit early, I recognize I'm a little early, I just back out. Then the same comms, you ready Genji? Because we didn't have Nanoblade when I first jumped in, that's why I backed out. Now we have it. Now I'm saying, you ready? We go in. Pop my ult to try to create space here. It works really, really well. They all focus their attention on me. But our Genji doesn't go in at all. So, honestly, I think I played that perfectly fine. I think I played that perfectly correctly, actually. But unfortunately, our Genji, he actually says in chat, he's lagging right now. So that's why he didn't blade. So that's just unlucky in my opinion. Guy had a bit of lag, so he couldn't go in. And honestly, it's better that he saved his blade and nano for when he wasn't lagging instead of messing it up, right? So honestly, we're doing okay here. We still have nano blade. Not a big deal. We forgive him. We go again. So we're engaged. Our Wrecking Ball is now creating space for our Genji blade. Our McCree cancels their Reaper ultimate, which is really, really good. And so I'm looking to go in to help out. Our Genji gets killed again during his blade, but fortunately our McCree pops off like crazy, so it works out here. But again, my job as Winston is just to jump in and follow up. Our McCree here told me that there's somebody who's killable in this right side doorway, so I immediately come there to put my body to help him out. But he even says in chat though, I'm sorry I baited you really hard, so our Ana is still alive. ML7's in the back line. They don't know that he's there though, so we're just chilling. We're waiting to regroup fully as 5 to go in with our Ana as 6 to anti them from the back. So he's saying, I'm gonna nade him, you ready to dive? So as soon as he nades, I'm diving in. Again, trying to go after their Ana. Their Ana is basically the juiciest target you want to go after every time, because she's the main support. If you kill her, they have so much less sustain, you're like so much more likely to win the fight. The main tank or the main support are like almost always the best picks you can get in the fight. So, just like with our attack, they're probably going to be jumping on top of gas station here. So, my job as the tank is to fight with the tanks that dive up here, fight with the enemy tanks, and create space for my DPS. So they're actually not running dive though. They're running kind of death ball. They've got a Reinhardt and a Roadhog, I think. So we should have dove them a little bit sooner than that. Oh, they're actually triple tank. So as soon as the Roadhog hooks my squishy there, I immediately jump in front to try to protect them. So Roadhog's gonna one-shot kill a squishy, but he would not one-shot me as Winston. So jumping in front and trying to basically take the bullet body block for them is really, really valuable. So unfortunately there, I think we just didn't dive them soon enough, and obviously I got slept, so that's our bad. But we've got Nano Blade coming up here, so we're gonna plan around that. So I'm calling out to my teammates the dive timing. I'm going to dive in a couple seconds here, so that way we're all going in at the same time to have the best chance of picking out their Ana or something. And I'm going around in a little bit of a flank, because if you go straight on, it's going to be that much easier for the Ana to sleep you, or the Roadhog to hook you, etc. And it actually pays off here. We get the McCree, but unfortunately their Ana and Roadhog really messed me up here. They get our McCree too. But going around for dives like that, it's a little bit more creative. They're more likely to work out for you. And we pop the Dragon Blade though. But unfortunately, the Roadhog every time has his whole hog out to counter our blade. So you've got to watch out for that if you're a Genji player. The Roadhog is going to try to whole hog you every time. We sleep an anti the Rhine, so we can kill him here. So I'm hopping here to the bottom left to break line of sight with the McCree while still contesting the cart. So you might, as a Winston, jump on the McCree to think to try to counter him, but like you kind of just be sacrificing yourself in that situation. If you're convinced that your teammates can find a way to survive the high noon, then you don't need to do that, right? I wouldn't be able to kill him in time before he'd lock on and kill me with his high noon, and I didn't have my bubble off cooldown, so I just opted to contest the cart, not die to it. Again, I'm trying to jump in front of the hook, body block for my teammate. And ML7 built his Nano so fast, so he just gives it to me. Winston's actually a really, really good target for Nano if you get it, if you're playing Ana, because he does consistent damage. So like any target that does consistent damage, or yeah, in general is really good target. That's why you want a Nano Visor, that's why you Nano Winston. But also there's some combos, so like Genji Blade is really good because it can eat through Transcendence, and he can kill in one sword slash one dash, so that's why that's so strong. But in general, consistent damage sources are good to Nano. So not snipers in general. And McCree is sometimes good to nano because he can one-shot kill with headshots, but it's a good McCree that you'd want to nano in that situation. So it depends on Elo again. So there I'm soft diving just to prevent their push and disorganize them. Try to separate the tanks from their DPS and their Ana. So their Ana there's alone now, but they EMP, so I'm not able to follow up on the space I made there. But my DPS all the while, like, I'm taking all this punishment, all the while my DPS are able to frag out. But yeah, in overtime or in any situation like this where they're about to cap the point, it's really important to let your teammates know if you can contest the card or not. This is the way that you figure out as a team who should be the one on cart. Otherwise, you know, either everyone go to cart or you'll see 9 it. So you say, if you can go to cart, you say, I can touch. And generally that's the main tank or the off tank that should say that. But if you hear no one say it, then you better start saying it. You better start figuring out like if you can touch or not. So that's tragic. I get hacked off the cliff. So we're switching here to Rein Zarya because on this point, there's not a whole lot of high ground that you need to contest. And you know, the high ground that you do need to contest, there's stairs up to it on your side. So it's not really a big concern, the high ground here, but there is a tight corridor. So Rein's shield is really, really good because it can cover that whole choke and it's got 2000 HP. So I'm not sure why they EMP'd there. It still works out for them somehow, but their EMP should not have worked out there in my opinion. They got like one person with it, I think. So that's pretty hilarious. But we anti their Rein. I gained this ridiculous stun on their Sombra, and we get the Rein super low. So you see, as the main tank again, it's kind of really similar to the Winston, and we'll go back to Winston in the next round here. But with Reinhardt, it's pretty similar to Winston, right? I'm just trying to protect my teammates. So with Reinhardt, like with Winston, you're disrupting, but with Reinhardt, you're the front line, and you're creating safe space by protecting them from damage. So that really sucks. Something you can do to prevent that actually is to wait to turn around, because the hack time takes 0.65 seconds, whereas I only need to block the Diva Bomb for an instant, right? So you can technically be waiting till the moment when the bomb damage actually comes out, instantly turn around, block it, and then turn back around within 0.65 seconds, and you will actually block the bomb damage and not get hacked. So it's possible, it's really, really difficult, but there's a tech for Rein. So there I could just hear the Reinhardt charging, so I know already it's not going to be dive. So like with last time, we're just going to try to dive them. Last time we waited a little bit too long, so this time we're going to try to be a little bit more early. So Hog just uses hook, so that's my cue to dive in. Jump directly on the Ana as close as you can to her. You don't want to get slept by her, so sometimes you might want to dive a little bit away from her to put the shield between you and the Ana, because the shield will pop directly on you and it has a radius. But other times, if you think you can kill her, you want to jump directly on top of her, because the damage from leap is highest when you're landing directly on top of them and it has fall off. So our Brigida gets a 4K, I think, there. Support, by the way. So they switched to Winston. Winston something. And again, I just jump on them. And I'm running away to the mini to sustain myself and jumping out. So you see there's like a pattern of like, I jump in, get all their attention, come out before they can kill me, and then jump away. So that all of the damage they put into me is completely useless to them, other than, I guess, building ult charge. So Rana hits a gigantic anti, gets his nano so fast, so we're able to take out that Junkrat. And again, just clearing out the cart because it's overtime. So you see, I saw the Ana was running for the Mega, so I used my jump to get ahead of her so she cannot get there in time. That seals the deal on me killing her. So we actually pop off really hard there, but all it is just Winston tech, right? Being aware as well that you have a minimum jump angle with Winston is really helpful for getting kills like that. So like, I did not jump too early into the cave. I jumped a little bit late into the cave because even if you're looking straight at the floor, Winston's still going to jump at a slight vertical angle, right? So, and same thing with looking straight up, you'll still just jump at a slight horizontal angle. So there's a minimum and maximum jump angle with Winston, so you cannot jump through doors unless you're a certain distance to them relative to how high the opening is, right? So just being aware of that. You can practice that by giving yourself 0 cooldown on all your abilities in a custom game, and just practice jumping through different areas with Winston, and just getting a feel for that will help you secure kills like that in clutch moments. So they're holding with Orisa, so I am keeping my face out of the line of fire because I don't want to use my bubble early because I need that for my dives, right? If I use it, I have to wait like, what, 13 seconds to dive? I don't want to waste that time. And I do not want to be feeding the mult charge either, or dying, so. We get a pick on their Orisa pretty easily. And now it's kind of clean up. There's not a whole lot of them alive there. So I'm looking for the low targets to harass the squishies here, because they can't take 1v1s with tanks. Now that's what a huge advantage you have as a tank. You have such a high health pool. Even if you do like no damage per second as Winston, you can win your 1v1s. And there you go, that's the win. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you got something out of this Winston VOD review. Remember that if you want to see hundreds of other guides just like this one, made by top 500 professionals, you can click the link below to GameLeap.com. Make sure to like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to our channel.